Your attention, masters, mistresses. All systems functional for the Everything Geek podcast.
Hey, this is Rich McDonald, and I play Commander David Mason on Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And you're listening to Everything Geek Podcast.
It's James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Master Plo Koon in Star Wars The Clone Wars, and you're listening to Everything Geek, the podcast.
Hey, it's Leif Gamfert. I played Uncle Ben's killer in The Amazing Spider-Man, and you're listening to the Everything Geek Podcast.
Hello, I'm Simon Fisherbecker. You probably know me better as Dorian Moldavar from Doctor Who, or the Fat Friar from Harry Potter. And this is Everything Geek Podcast.
Face it, Tiger. You just hit the jackpot with the Everything Geek Podcast.
You're listening to the Everything Geek Podcast, bringing you interviews from your favorite films and TV shows every week, and all of the latest news. Here's your host, Rory Williamson.
Hello everyone, you're listening to the Everything Geek Podcast. I'm your host Rory, and joining me today is a very special guest. We have actor Ariyon Bakare, best known for playing Barion Raner in Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, Leandro in Doctor Who, Commander Grace in The Dark Knight, Greeghan in Jupiter Ascending, Dr. Ben Kwarme in Doctors, and Stephen Black in Jonathan Strange Mr Norrell. He stars in Life, which is set for release across the UK on Friday, March 24th. How are you today, sir?
I'm very well, and after that long list, I feel better.
I'm glad to hear you're doing very well.
My trajectory in the science world, sci-fi world.
Yeah, definitely. It's a pleasure to have you on the podcast today.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
You're very welcome. Now, for some of our listeners who may not be familiar with your background, can you tell us how you got into acting originally?
Oh, well, I started acting when I've always wanted to be an actor. I've never really done anything else. I went the normal route, really. Drama school. Then my first job was at the Royal Shakespeare Company in a play called Ariyon, opposite Jude Law, and then just carried on from there, really.
It's very exciting. Now, in terms of your work on Rogue One, how were you originally cast as Barion Raner, the rebel pilot you played in the film?
That part was offered to me. That was a direct offer. And at the time, they offered me if I wanted to be in Rogue One or the next film, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'll never get a chance to be in Star Wars, so I might as well just do it now." Who knows where I'm going to be next year? So I took that part, and that was offered to me immediately, and I went on set. It was like one of the best experiences ever. But the worst thing is, at the time, I hadn't seen Star Wars, so then I had this really amazing time of spending a whole day watching every single Star Wars movie, and then calling up all my friends and going, "Oh my God, have you seen this amazing film?"
Yeah.
And that was it. So you can imagine now, yeah, I've seen Star Wars, and then I was quoting Yoda for about maybe about 3 weeks afterwards.
Yeah, a bit late to the party, but definitely worth it when you can watch them all like that.
But imagine that now we're in a day and age of box sets. I mean, that is the way to watch Star Wars. I mean, watch every single one in order. Well, how else can you watch it?
Yeah, I know. I haven't actually ever done that, and I've been a Star Wars fan my whole life. I can't even imagine.
Oh man, you've got to do it. You've got to try it. It's such a, look, for me, it was like, wow, I can actually see where it takes a dip. It's like reading a book. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is the moment where I don't really like this chapter, but I love this chapter. And it picks up again. And it was amazing. I had such a great time doing that.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how long that must have been.
Yeah, it was very long. Yeah. It was very, very long.
Yeah. What are your favourite memories from your time working on Rogue One?
Being in the pilot, my pilot. No, actually, it was my costume. I was like, yeah, I'm playing a pilot. And I was really excited about that. And just being with part of the team, it was just like you get there and it's just this machine. It's a big, massive machine, and you just want to be I just wanted to be part of that, and I was just excited by it. Everyone was, everybody was really excited, and it was a really good team of people to work with.
Definitely. And in terms of your new film, Life, which of course comes out Friday next week, how would you describe the film to someone who doesn't know a lot about it but might be interested in seeing it?
It's about 6 astronauts on the ISS, the International Space Station, who discover life on Mars that could have been the reason why it was extinct, and realize that after bringing the specimen alive, that it could be a problem to Earth, a major problem to Earth.
Yeah, that's a pretty exciting description. I mean, it definitely gets the spine tingling. In Life, you play British scientist Hugh Derry, who is in charge of analysing the alien creature. How would you describe the character?
Hugh is the top of his game. He's one of the best scientists in the world. He has a passion about microbiology, and his whole idea is that if he finds this specimen, it could be the answers to all our ailments on Earth. And he thinks it's a cure. We could find a cure if we analyse it.
That's pretty cool. And what was it that attracted you to the role?
Well, actually, it was the team. Working with Daniel Espinosa was just an amazing thing to do. I loved these films. Then also the script was just jumped off the page. It was a really easy read, very visceral, scary. There was moments where I was screaming at the script and just literally throwing the script down because I couldn't read it anymore because it was just too gruesome. But at the same time, just like, I have to read the next page. It was a real page turner. And for Hugh, the character of Hugh it was just an amazing part. It was, for a black British guy to play a part like that was, I was just honoured to be chosen and to be part of that to be in that ballpark.
Definitely. Now, if you were screaming that much reading the script, were you screaming that much when you actually had to film the scenes?
Yeah, there's one scene where I scream really loudly. I'm sure they can hear me in space.
Well, I'll look forward I'll look forward to seeing that particular scene for that reason then.
Right. I'm sure if you look at the trailer, I'm sure if you see the trailer, you'll see.
Yeah, it's a very good point. And how would you describe the experience working with the cast and crew of Life?
It's amazing. If you're working, we've got Daniel Espinosa, who's just an amazing director, who's very detailed and runs a really tight ship, and very creative, and knows exactly what he wants, and also gives you room to explore. And so that's just a beautiful marriage with an actor and a director. Then you've got, you're working with Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal and Rebecca Ferguson, and the three of them are so at the top of their game, so it made me have to push my game even further and play harder than I've ever played before. So it was really, for me, it was one of those experiences that I'll never forget. I still sometimes pinch myself that it's all happening.
That's really cool, yeah, definitely. My final question for you, Ariyon, aside from Life, do you have any other upcoming acting roles or other projects you would like to talk about?
Yeah, I've got other stuff that's in the pipeline. I'm doing a film later on in the year, which I'm not really allowed to talk about yet. I've also written a couple of stuff that are now going into development, so I'm really excited about the future. It's still early days. I'm the overnight success that didn't happen last night. So I'm kind of I'm excited of what's going to be coming my way.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be sure to keep an eye out for more news on what you've got coming up. So that's all of my questions for you today, Ariyon. It's been a pleasure talking to you on the podcast.
Real pleasure to you and to all your audiences. Thank you.
Hopefully we can do it again sometime.
I'm sure we can.
Great. I'll look forward to that then. Thanks again for joining us and take care. Bye.
And you, bye.
make sure to check out Life when it is released across the UK on Friday, March 24th. I did mention the release date slightly earlier, but I thought I'd mention it again for good measure. So yeah, now time to wrap up today's show. Make sure to check out our podcast links, check out our website.everythinggeekpodcast.com/EGP, check out our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/everythinggeekpodcast, check out our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/user/everythinggeekcast, check us out on Twitter, twitter.com/everythinggeekp, check us out on Instagram, instagram.com/official everythinggeekpodcast, check out our Mixcloud profile, www.mixcloud.com/everythinggeekpodcast, email us at the following email, everythinggeekpodcast@gmail.com, check out our companion podcast, Everything Geek Comiccast, www.facebook.com/everythinggeekcomiccast. Make sure to check out the host's YouTube channels, www.youtube.com/user/separatistdestroyers. Check out Ariyon Bakare on Twitter, twitter.com/Ariyon69, and check out channel 1138 where we broadcast live from, www.channel1138.com. Geek set, everyone.
I've been a Star Wars fan all my life. A New Hope was the first film I ever saw in cinema. I'm just 40 years old now, and my dad took me to see it in the local cinema when I was
Star Wars. I generally, with these new agencies, you sign up online and you submit your details and then they phone you, but I decided to make the effort with this news. I didn't know if it was for certain, but I made the effort to go up to London because I lived